It was midday in a Texas field when a worried farmer called us. A herd of wild boars was repeatedly trampling the corn paths and destroying crops. Without hesitation, our team jumped into the 2025 Ford Ranger Raptor, equipped with GPS and motion tracking cameras. Today's mission was clear: control all the trails and keep the boars away from the cornfields. As soon as we shut off the engine, the hunting dogs perked up, detecting suspicious sounds from the edge of the grass. Daytime hunting officially began. We started from the edge of the large farm, where fresh boar tracks were still visible. The team split into two groups, staying in constant contact via phones and radios to avoid overlapping paths. In an open area, the motion radar signaled movement. The team immediately took positions at a safe distance. A mature boar appeared. Careful aim was essential. At the leader's signal, the animal was swiftly neutralized. That was just the opening act. If not handled quickly, the herd could have wreaked havoc on the farm at any moment. Moving 300 meters deeper into the woods, the heavy thud of hooves on soil echoed around us. The thermal camera detected a dark shape moving fast, heading straight toward the pasture near the farmer's cattle. This could have caused serious damage. The team formed a V-shaped line to intercept, but the beast suddenly changed direction, charging straight at me. Instantly, the team shifted formation, redirecting it to the flank. Seconds like these show how dangerous this job is. One moment of distraction and you could be knocked over. As we continued along the field, tracks showed a few more boars lurking near the irrigation system. If they damaged it, thousands of dollars in crops could be lost. We split to cover both sides, keeping watch carefully. Every member maintained proper spacing, avoiding each other's lines of fire. When a boar appeared, the team leader gave the signal, and it was handled cleanly. We pressed deeper into the cornfield, a common ambush area where visibility is limited. To reduce risk, we tightened our formation, using hand signals instead of radios. As we moved along a trail, a sharp squeal sounded right at my feet. A mature boar had been hiding under the brush, waiting to strike. The leader applied pressure, forcing it into the open, while the deputy quickly aimed and neutralized it. This is why we always move as a team. Alone, a situation like this could be disastrous. After checking the surrounding area, we continued along the dirt road toward the exit. Suddenly, the scout signaled to the right. A lone boar was attempting to sneak back through another trail. The leader signaled silence. As the boar ran, it crossed exactly where we had anticipated. One precise shot was all it took, without damaging any crops. Just when the team thought the area was clear, a loud snap came from behind. A large boar charged out from the trail behind us. Remaining calm, we rotated the formation 180 degrees, redirecting our line of fire away from the farm. It appeared for less than 2 seconds, but it was enough for the deputy to take a single clean shot. The leader checked the map. All trails are secure. When you think of Florida, your mind probably jumps straight to sun-soaked beaches. But beyond the shoreline, this land stretches out into vast fields and sprawling farms, and with them comes a serious challenge: wild hogs wreaking havoc. These cunning creatures use the rolling hills and dense thickets as perfect cover to hide and multiply. Today, join my crew and me as we venture deep into these rugged backcountry terrains, exploring the landscape while taking on the mission to protect local crops and livelihoods. Our journey begins at dawn, when the early mist still clings to the hilltops. This is prime time. Wild hogs are most active after a night spent foraging. We have to make the most of this golden window, because though their vision is poor, once they catch the scent of danger, they vanish like ghosts. Dawn bore witness to a fierce showdown. The beast charged down the hillside with fierce vitality. My shot found its mark, but it refused to give in. I had to fire a second round, taking down that stubborn creature for good. Not a bad way to kick things off, right? Across the hillside, a lone target moves steadily. The world narrows through the scope, just the crosshairs and the prey. Without a moment's hesitation, David gently squeezes the trigger, and the bullet completes its mission flawlessly. The quarry is down before it even knows what hit it. They sow chaos everywhere. We plant seeds of peace in return. On this barren patch of territory, a solid shadow moves steadily. Suddenly, it halts, wild instincts warning of danger. Its hesitation is my chance. No way I'm letting it slip away. I squeeze the trigger, and BAM! The curtain falls as the villain meets its fate, the destructive wild hog. It stopped for a moment of doubt, and I acted to make the land richer once again. Leaving the hills behind, our pickup truck carried us down to lower ground. Here, the distance between us and the prey could be just a few steps. When a full-grown wild hog weighing hundreds of pounds bursts out from the brush, there's no room for joking around. Out of the brush, the wild hog suddenly charges. The only gap it has to cross is the narrow trail, and that's John's one and only shot. The moment it hits the edge of the woods, his bullet flies, putting an end to its desperate run. It runs on instinct, no strategy, while we win with one bold, skilled shot. The rustling in the brush signals the prey is about to appear, and I'm the last line of defense. When that massive wild hog tears through the undergrowth, charging at me like a suicide bomb, there's no time for fear. At the moment it's just an arm's length away, the shot rings out, taking it down on the spot. Does this pressure and ambush tactic deserve a perfect 10, guys? The tension thickened as dusk fell, with dogs barking loudly, signaling the prey was about to be pushed into the open. I gripped my rifle tight, ready for whatever was coming. Then it appeared. The first shot hit true, but the hog still charged toward the woods. The second shot ended its run forever, a perfect ending to a full day of hunting. Thousands of hectares of farmland in Bulgaria are being ravaged by wild boars, causing millions of dollars in damage. Crops are destroyed, Livelihoods are shaken, and fear is spreading fast across the region. In the bone-chilling cold, Finn and his hunting team push deep into the frozen forest where every step forward could mean life or death. Will they manage to take the shot before the beast vanishes into the wilderness? Get ready for the most intense, heart-pounding moments of this wild boar hunt. Morning light pierces through the thick blanket of snow covering the forests of Bulgaria. Finn's hunting team moves in silence, every step carefully calculated. The air is tight with tension, every sense locked in. Suddenly, the hounds break the silence. The prey has been found. Finn wastes no time, moving swiftly toward the signal. Through the scope, the wild boar comes into full view. Calm and focused, he lines up the shot. Squeeze! The gun cracks through the cold air. The boar stumbles, takes a few shaky steps, then collapses into the snow. A flawless takedown thanks to perfect teamwork with the dogs. In a hunt like this, support isn't optional, it's everything. Wasting no time, the team pushes deeper into the forest. Every step is steady, nothing escapes their watchful eyes. Suddenly, a dark blur flashes across their line of sight. A single gunshot cracks the silence. Fast, clean, and deadly accurate. The boar drops on the spot. In that split second, Finn showcases unmatched precision, flawless instincts, perfect execution. As the last light of day fades and the temperature drops sharply, the hunting team quietly begins to pull back toward the rendezvous point, believing the chase is over. But then, Finn's sharp eyes catch a subtle movement in the distance. He crouches low, steady hands on the trigger. A single shot rings out. The boar drops silently. No thrashing, no sound, just stillness. Another sliver of peace restored to this land. Quiet but relentless. The snow had begun to melt after days of eerie stillness, revealing the cold, damp earth beneath. On the western hillside, Finn's team moved in silently, taking up their planned positions. 10 minutes passed. Finn remained razor-focused, eyes locked onto every twitch, every flicker of movement. Then, just beyond the trees, a dark figure slipped into view. Instinct took over. His finger squeezed the trigger with precision. The dry crack of the rifle shattered the silence. The boar collapsed instantly, never even knowing what hit it. It paid the price for the ruined crops and the chaos it brought to this land. His eyes locked onto a group of wild boars quietly concealed in the underbrush. With lightning-fast reflexes and zero hesitation, he adjusted his rifle, took aim, and squeezed the trigger. One boar dropped instantly, the rest scattered in a frenzy. Without missing a beat, Finn signaled his team a new wave of the hunt was already underway. Moments later, the hounds let out a sharp cry. The target had been spotted. James surged forward, eyes locked with unwavering focus. The critical moment arrived in a flash. One clean, decisive shot, dead on target. Almost simultaneously, signals lit up from other positions. One after another, shots rang out, silencing the danger for good. The battle ended as quickly as it began, restoring peace to the land. For now, the people could rest easy, at least this time. This hunt has come to an end. The destroyers of the harvest have finally been stopped. Victory didn't belong to the brave marksmen alone, but was the result of seamless coordination between local farmers, authorities, and the unshakable brotherhood within our team. Once again, the hunters spoke up at the right moment, and this time, they came out on top. We sincerely thank the local community and authorities for their unwavering support, trust, and partnership throughout this journey. Central Florida backcountry, where the thick palm forests and muddy wetlands create the perfect battleground for wild hogs to run rampant. These beasts multiply fast, invading gardens, wrecking irrigation systems, and leaving heavy damage in their wake. Faced with the threat of losing entire crops, landowners turn to us, hoping to reclaim their land from this invasion. A challenging hunt lies ahead. Join us as we embark on this heart-pounding pursuit. Before dawn fully breaks, our truck quietly rolls toward the forest where the wild hogs usually begin their destruction. With seasoned experience, we know their habits and active hours inside out. Every detail is meticulously planned, each step, each breath, carefully measured as we move into ambush positions. Minutes later, the target reveals itself. Steady on the bead, I squeeze the trigger. Quick, clean, decisive. The beast drops instantly. That opening shot, dead on, fuels our resolve to restore peace to this land. We press silently deeper into the forest, tracking fresh hog prints in the damp earth. Not a sound escapes as the team locks onto the trail, eyes sharp, scanning every palm thicket and shadowed nook. "There it is," I whisper. Like muscle memory, I raise my rifle, line up the shot. The gun cracks, a clean hit, and the hog falls on the spot. Elsewhere, Kevin skillfully sets bait to lure the herd into view, choosing an ambush point with clear sightlines. As the hogs gorge, he quietly takes aim at the biggest one. A shot rings out, the target drops, and chaos erupts among the rest. Seeing Kevin's tactic work so well, we quickly expand our trap network and split up to cover key spots. This section is ours to protect. Once again, hogs fall into our traps, and with swift, decisive shots, we neutralize more threats, helping preserve this land from destruction. Meanwhile, at a frequent hog crossing, Kevin's crew stands ready. The moment targets appear, a precise shot drops one. The rest panic and bolt, but every escape route is blocked. Ready rifles cut off their getaway, ending their desperate flight. Following tracks, Kevin freezes, spotting a large gathering of hogs. Without hesitation, he fires, taking down one beast. Quick on the reload, he tries to press the attack, but the herd outsmarts us, slipping deep into the woods. Determining the direction, Kevin signals us to move deeper into the dense jungle where the hogs vanished. The tangled terrain and thick brush make tracking nearly impossible, if not for our hunting dogs. Guided by the dog's barks, suddenly, a giant hog bursts out. Instinct kicks in, finger tightens on the trigger. The beast drops cold. Pushing through dense palms, we hunt down the survivors hiding nearby. More sharp shots ring out, each one a message. This land is no longer safe ground for wild hogs. Now on the fields, the traces left by the wild boar herd, with claws sharp as knives, have ravaged the land that the farmers have meticulously cultivated over the past months. The livelihoods of many families are at risk of being wiped out. There's no other option but to rise up and face these invaders. It's not just a battle with nature, but a fight for survival, for hope, and to protect every inch of land that belongs to the community. The vehicle rumbled across the rugged roads, bringing us closer to the fields of southern Brazil. From a distance, we could already spot the wild boars. The engine's roar startled them, sending them charging ahead. Nick quickly maneuvered the vehicle, creating the perfect distance for me to act. Everything happened like second nature. The shots rang out, each one finding its mark, dropping the targets one by one. Within minutes, the field fell silent again, the once vibrant figures now still, marking a strong start to today's hunt. After our perfect collaboration, we realized that moving by vehicle would alert the prey. We abandoned the truck, each step taken quietly, searching every corner with caution. Just 10 minutes in, the hounds had already caught the scent. With their well-honed tactics and training, they quickly surrounded the prey. My steps quickened as I closed in, just within range, and the shot rang out. Accurate! The threat to the field was stopped in time, securing the life here. As I dealt with my target, to the east of the field, John had quickly spotted another boar thanks to the sharp nose of his hounds. With the ideal distance and precise guidance from the pack, John brought down the giant boar in the blink of an eye. Before we could even catch our breath, another figure appeared. John immediately charged forward, racing up the hill. Though the boar tried to flee, it couldn't escape the well-placed shot, bringing the chase to a swift end. Realizing the situation had changed, John signaled for me to advance and intercept the targets hiding on the hillside. After splitting into positions, we quickly set up a new formation, each step deliberate as we moved forward. Predicting there would be wild boar in this area, I moved straight ahead to intercept. Sure enough, it arrived. Aiming carefully, I squeezed the trigger. The shot hit its mark, Every step, every decision was calculated. Victory was achieved through precision and patience. The open areas always provide the golden opportunity for quick targeting and locking in on the prey. Therefore, Nick's team was assigned to handle the boars hiding there. Soon after, gunshots rang out, signaling another successful attack. Just when we thought everything was over, a signal came through about the prey's location. This time, the situation was tougher than ever. Although John had taken decisive action, the boar stubbornly escaped. I quickly closed the distance, each step light and careful, avoiding detection. Then, a sharp shot echoed, precisely hitting the target, bringing down the massive creature. The destruction was halted, securing the peace for this place. Hunting wild boar is not just about bringing down the prey, but about the art of reading their movements, allowing us to deploy precise strategies and achieve the desired outcome. The western mountainside stretched before us, cold gray rock interspersed with thick bushes. Massive wild boar tracks pressed into the dry earth, guiding me into this challenging wilderness. Every step carried the heavy responsibility of a villager standing up against the destructive force of increasingly numerous wild beasts. Gripping my weapon firmly, determination forged in steel resolved to protect the villagers from the relentless encroachment of these wild creatures. Climbing the towering rocky slopes, a challenge in itself to reach the prey. Suddenly, the hunting dogs barked loudly, tension spiking immediately. We positioned ourselves carefully, maintaining just enough distance to await the perfect moment. And there it is! Perfect shots flew, the thick hide of the boar unable to withstand the force. As the beast collapsed, the team's fighting spirit surged, readying us for the dangerous journey ahead. I continued forward, but a small misstep allowed the prey to vanish into the dense foliage. The air was thick with tension, every sense on high alert. I moved silently, eyes tracking every subtle motion through the leaves. There it is! A decisive strike claimed the target. Had it escaped again, this mountain would have suffered further destruction from this cunning creature. Minutes of quiet observation passed without a sign. We decided to ascend higher for a better vantage point. Suddenly, the clatter of hooves against rocks echoed unmistakably. At the right distance, a sharp gunshot rang out, the result of precise calculation and deep understanding of the wild boar's cunning habits. The sun climbed higher, but we persisted, following the tracks. Familiar rustling echoed through the dense forest. Immediately, intercepting shots rang out, smoke and sound blending into a single force. The boar struggled, seeking an escape, but every route had been blocked. With intuition and precise reading of signs, I maintained control. The disturbance was swiftly subdued. After hours of pursuit, I realized this area was riddled with traps, human and animal alike. I changed tactics, taking a high, open position to oversee the scene. Less than 5 minutes later, the opportunity presented itself. In one moment, the boar's speed was halted. Mission accomplished flawlessly. This victory helped control the wild population. The area gained an additional measure of peace. Just as the hunt seemed complete, a sudden loud noise erupted ahead. The final shot rang out. Quick, precise, decisive. In that moment, I realized that every encounter with a wild boar is not only a test of skill and reflexes, but also a lesson in patience and humility before nature. The tension and intensity of these situations demonstrate that determination, patience, and teamwork are key to overcoming the challenges that the wild throws at us.